So this should be a pretty cool one. So maybe some of you know back in like 2020, 2021, 2022, I made a bunch of NASCAR stop motion tracks and I was making stop motion races regularly. And I haven't looked at those tracks in a couple of years now or used them at all. And we're just going to do just that today. So I have a bunch of different tracks we're going to look at from my old NASCAR stop motion races that I made when I was like 12, 13 years old. And we're just going to look at all of them and just see what kind of condition they're in. And I'm going to show you guys them. Some of them I'm pretty proud of, but others maybe not so much. But we're going to be looking at every single track that I made over the past about 5 or 6 years since ever I started YouTube back in April of 2020. So let's get straight into this with the first track. All right, so here we go. Starting off in my garage, I'm going to pull out the first track now. So starting off with the first one, and good Lord, this thing has seen better days. This is obviously Daytona International Speedway, or the first ever NASCAR stop motion track that I made back in early 2020. Obviously, this thing was in a much better condition when I made it. It's completely destroyed. I'm not sure where half the walls went. I promise you, most of the other tracks aren't like this. This is just the bad one's my oldest track. This one I'm not too proud of now. When I made it when I was 10 years old, I was, but look at all the tape. That looks awful. All the missing walls definitely is not a great touch. The front straightaway is, for some reason, it's wider over here and then narrow here. And then I had cars going through the grass and when they were 3 wide. It was just a whole mess, but I was 10 years old when I made this for my first ever race, so it's kind of understandable. Of course, this is Daytona. You got the infield in here. You got a little bit of a grass section for some reason. No Lake Lloyd. The front straightaway, the Daytona International Speedway logo. I had a nice, cool-looking garage, actually, with a big screen on it over here. I'm not really sure where that went, though. But you can see this is basically how I made my first ever racetrack. The other ones are definitely a lot better and cleaner looking than this one because I actually knew what I was doing then. This is the first ever thing I actually really kind of made for a NASCAR stop motion. I think it went, for my age, for being 10 years old, I think it came out okay. Definitely not the best, but for my age, it was all right. You can see how I cut out the walls, not the best. This is the first track, Daytona International Speedway, and this one has definitely seen better days, so it's kind of sad to see as my first ever track, but let's move on to my second ever track I made. All right, here's the second track, and when I tell you how proud of this thing I am, even still to today, even considering the condition it's in right now, I'm not lying. This thing, when I made it when I was 11 years old, this is like, I don't even know what to call it. It's absolutely insane how good this looks for what I did compared to that one. What a step up. Obviously, you got... this is Charlotte Motor Speedway. You got the front straightaway Charlotte. Very realistic looking. I put the whole front straightaway at Charlotte thing. You've got a restart zone over there somewhere. I think it's blue. It's right there. I don't know why it's blue, but all right. And here's the actual Charlotte Roval as well. I was going to have a real Charlotte Roval race, but ended up not actually doing it. Front straightaway chicane, the back straightaway chicane I built in there as well. I put all the lines in nicely, even put some pit boxes there. I put the wall is like really accurate as well. This is even before I went to Charlotte Motor Speedway in real life to actually see it. I got some artwork in here like they actually have in the real track, some grass in the middle. I am still very, very proud of this racetrack, and I can't even tell you how proud of it I was when I was 11 years old. So I fully plan to restore this track back the way it was and make it even better maybe than what it was, because I just love this thing. Even got the accurate Charlotte walls. I think I really did a good job on this track when I made it back in 2020. You got the Tums Heartburn Turn. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but it was a very iconic thing at the Charlotte Roval. So this is definitely probably one of my favorite tracks that I made. Probably actually my favorite track, even with the other two coming up. Just the amount of detail I put into this thing. At 11 years old, I made this thing by myself. The only thing I had help from my parents was cutting out the actual racetrack. Definitely a huge step up from Daytona, and I really do love this racetrack. I do, like I said, plan on restoring this thing, getting it back to looking like it's good and new. I will never have a race on this, but I want to hang these tracks up, all the ones I have eventually, and just have them just displayed. So this, of course, is Charlotte Motor Speedway. And finally, we move to the basement, where you can see there are a couple of tracks that are waiting for us. This is, of course, my good old Martinsville Speedway, made back in, I guess, mid-2021, I think it was. So obviously you can tell it's Martinsville. This is before Martinsville actually got rid of the grass. They got rid of it when it was the next gen era, which is obviously after 2021. It's the paperclip. I think I did a pretty good job on this. We got some sponsor decals, Exalta. The Martinsville logo isn't the best, but like you can see, it's good enough. Got to put up the cars here. There's Josh Berry. There's, of course, Martin Truex Jr., two very good drivers here at Martinsville Speedway. That's kind of why I chose them for this. Also got the concrete around here. I think I was very proud of this. I did this when I was like 12 years old. It's definitely pretty basic, but it's probably one of my favorites. It's really nice. You also got the infield section over here. This is where I actually put like a garage area and some other things. I had a garage, I'm not really sure where it went, that I used for all my tracks. There was only one race ever filmed on this one. It was back in 2021. It was a Gen 6 race, obviously. So I definitely do wish I used this more, but of course this is Martinsville Speedway. Real quick before we get into the final track, I want to show you guys what this actually is supposed to be. The shape should look pretty familiar, and there's a reason for that. This is actually supposed to be Darlington Raceway, but clearly I never even really finished it, or I really didn't. I only started the outline of the whatever. I don't know why I never finished this. I just didn't have any motivation to. Maybe early 2023, something like that, when I started building this racetrack. Obviously, I got a cutout for Darlington, and then that's really it. I didn't do anything since then. Obviously, you can tell what a finished product looked like versus what like this just starting looks like. You can see I probably should have finished this one. It would probably look pretty nice. I was supposed to do Talladega, a couple other ones as well, but I really never got to them because I never finished my actual stop motion season. It was just way too much work for me at the time. You can see it's Darlington. I did the outline decently. I just never really liked where this was going. I just didn't love the outline. It doesn't look completely like Darlington. It definitely could be better. Obviously, Darlington has banking, so it makes this look kind of weird. So I just ultimately never decided to actually finish this one. Maybe I will one day. I don't know. Maybe I'll get the motivation to. I kind of doubt it. I mean, yeah, this is long gone in my days. I don't make stop motions anymore. This is probably not going to ever be finished. Before we move on to the final track, I actually do have one more track besides this. It's, of course, the Christmas stop motion track. But that's actually like a Christmas village that my family puts up every single year, and I just turned it into a racetrack the last like 5 years. I didn't do it this year, actually. It kind of took the year off. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to do it again either. So that, of course, I can't really show you guys that. It's not really up, and there's not really a way to put it up. I can put some videos here what it looks like. That, of course, was the other stop motion track, the sixth, I guess, if you can include this one, but I'm not obviously able to show it. All right, one more hiding in the distance here. It's a little bit banged up, but we'll take a look at it anyways. And here we go, my final old stop motion track. This is, of course, Kansas Speedway with the old logo. Not really sure what happened to the grass either. I don't remember it being like this, but anyways, as you can tell, this is Kansas Speedway. I've gotten told by a couple of people this actually looks like Richmond Raceway. I didn't see it at the time, but now you can definitely see it. It doesn't really look like Kansas. It's definitely a lot tighter than Kansas should be. There's no, the back straightaway looks like it's Richmond. The front straightaway almost looks like it's Richmond. So do the turns, but it was good enough when I made this when I was 12 years old, but of course, this is probably one of my better races I've made, I feel like. The one race I actually made Truex win as well. I actually didn't make him win every race, shockingly. I also remember I had Larson take a bit of a tumble down the front straightaway through the grass. But yeah, I think ultimately Kansas Speedway turned out pretty good. Here's the infield once again. Also for this one, I had like the infield garage. I had a concession stand as well I made. I'm not sure. I'm trying to look around real quick. I don't know where I put all those things. This would have looked pretty cool with those added on. Here's your look down the front straightaway. You got the Kansas Speedway logo right there. Some other Kansas Speedway logos on the side. This is actually my old logo. I mean, it's pretty bad. Looking at it now, I don't even know why I didn't use the real NASCAR logo. I put some sponsors here, FedEx, Toyota, Sport Clips, what a shocker. Old Kansas logo, like I said, and Oscar Mayer for some reason. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little look at my old NASCAR stop motion tracks that I made. Of course, in total, there were 6 tracks if you include the Darlington unfinished one, and then, of course, my Christmas special track as well. So, and then there were 4 finished actual real NASCAR tracks, Kansas, Daytona, Charlotte, and Martinsville. So I hope you guys enjoyed looking at all of them. I probably won't ever do a NASCAR stop motion again, unfortunately. Not a full race, at least, but maybe I'll do something like small one day. But yeah, that'll just about do it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.